We are only 5 races until the season concludes for the BodyArmor Pro Series here in 2024, and guess what? There are 13 drivers here today that could mathematically leave the points leader at the end of this race. It has been a very tight season amongst all of these drivers, and we've had many different winners throughout these first 10 races. Well, we are here on the last road course of the season. It's the Watkins Glen International, and it's the Watkins Glen Grand Prix here in Watkins Glen, New York. It's going to be fascinating to see who gets it done here for 15 laps and no pit stops for the 11th race of the season in the BodyArmor Pro Series. Hello everybody, this is AG here, and welcome to the Watkins Glen International. We are here for the 11th race of the season in the BodyArmor Pro Series, and hey, we're on a real racetrack this time. Of course, our last race was there at Zen Joltis. What a wild race that was, with Igor Barreto getting the race victory. We are here at Watkins Glen, which it's got its own craziness in its own right, but it's going to be a lot of fun seeing how this race plays out because there's no pit stops in this race. It's 15 laps, longer than tomorrow's Truck Series race, and you got to make sure you don't overshoot that exit of turn 11 or get caught up in a wreck, because otherwise your day's going to be done. You're not going to have a chance at getting a good run. And it's going to be fascinating to see who gets the race victory, because more likely than not, the race winner is going to come from one of the top 6 positions in this race. We got Stuart Gratton and Drew Webb starting on the front row, so you know it's going to be exciting between those two drivers. And you know it's going to be exciting when we have Andrew Miller in the booth, as well as it always is. And Andrew, how in the world are these drivers going to race it out, knowing how tight they are in the championship? We have 13 drivers, everyone from Blaine Keys all the way down to Travis Crampton, within 20 points of each other, and you get 25 points for a win. So Travis Crampton could literally jump from 13th to the lead in the points in this one race, in theory, if he were to win it, which he actually has a good opportunity at doing so, starting there in 4th. So how are these guys going to race here, knowing how tight it is in the title coming into this 11th race of the season?
Well, with it being the final road course race of the season, as you were mentioning, I think that they're going to have to kind of play this one maybe a little more safely. It's a pretty wide road course, a lot of good opportunities for passing here, but ultimately you've got to keep it on track, as you said. There's opportunities for overshooting, opportunities for ended up in tire barriers, gravel traps, all kinds of trouble that you can get into, and then the next thing you know, you see your 25 points or 18 points even go all the way down to 0 in one corner. So I think that is going to be kind of the bigger factor here. And then going forward is where you can probably try to be a little bit more aggressive. So getting through this one in one piece and hoping to get as many points as you can, but safely above all else. Get through this one and then have it out for the final several races.
It's going to be fascinating to see how that ends up shaking out. I always say that. It's going to be fascinating. Do I have nothing else to say? I do have some other things to say. Of course, top 10 drivers receive championship points, as they always do. And it's very tight with the top 13 in points, specifically with Blaine Keys leading this championship. And you know that Blaine is absolutely gunning for this championship after what happened to him in the Wawa Cup Series. Was leading with 13 points in Ludovic Charette in that finale in the Southern 500 and lost it. Definitely a shame for him. He would definitely love the rebound and get one done here today. Christian Master, 1 point behind. Our outside pole sitter, Drew Webb, is 2 points behind. Nathan Stapleton tied, 2 points behind. Joe Rakowski, 3 points behind. And then we got Igor Barreto, who won the last race, only 6 points behind. Trey Barto, 8 points behind. Thomas Troxel, Jesse Turner, both 11 points behind. Nicholas Samedeo, 14 points behind. Derek Hamill, 17 points behind. Logan Williams, 18 points behind. And Travis Crampton, 20 points behind. All mathematical chances at being the points leader at the end of this race, which is incredible. This is what NASCAR wants. It's going to be very fascinating. I said it again. I gotta stop saying that. We'll have to see how it ends up shaking out in the points at the end of this race with how close it is. Drew Webb definitely with the best opportunity at taking the points lead, as he's only 2 points behind Blaine Keys, and he starts on that outside pole, which usually is the best place to start here at Watkins Glen. Let's go ahead and get these drivers to roll off here, And we'll go through the entire starting lineup here for this 15-lap event because it is a long pace lap around this 3.4-mile-long road course. Of course, we skip the chicane, go through the boot as we always do here on the channel. Very, very fun and fast-paced road course here. And it is Stuart Grattan who is officially the pole sitter, had the fastest time in the last round there of her Speed Fest at St. Joltis. He is to the inside of Drew Webb there on the front row. Of course, those two work together very well. And Drew Webb will be driving for Stuart Grattan next season in the Wawa Cup Series. Their last winner, Igor Brito, starts third alongside Travis Crampton. And Crampton, who is 13th in points, could theoretically win this race and become the points leader. Caleb Rose and Jesse Turner, a home race for Jesse Turner. He starts there in the 6th position. Could be an opportunity for him to get a win on his home racetrack. And then you got the 99 of Blaine Keys to the inside there of Trey Bartow. And Joe Rodkowski to the inside of Matt Tugg. We got here Jalurvan Alonso, Tanner Parton, Logan Williams, and Chase Harris. Number 7, Reggie Fogelman, Justin Zidell in the 24. Nathan Stapleton and the 14 of Thomas Troxel. Derek Campbell and Ludovic Charette. Brad Stover and Dylan Matthews, and then Christian Master, Nicholas Samadale round out the full field here. 15 laps at Watkins Glen. Of course, the entire field here in the Pro Series is very strong. And Andrew, who do you think is going to get it done here in this Kodak Watkins Glen Grand Prix?
I like Grattan's chances, not just because of him being on pole, but, I mean, hey, the Aussie road course, maybe call it a stereotype, but I think that would probably play into his wheelhouse pretty well. So I'll be looking for that JBL Toyota to be making some good noise here and probably bringing this thing home number 1.
And Stewart actually broke a over 6-year losing streak on the channel with the Lenovo Pro Series opener at Daytona a couple weeks ago. I'm sure he'd love for the next win to be much shorter than that wait. And if he gets a good jump here on that inside lane and clears Drew Webb in the turn 1, he's got a good shot at the win. But Drew Webb's in a great position, and this is Drew Webb we're talking about right here. Of course, he's yet to get a race victory this season, but today could be the opportunity for the 2023 Wawa Cup Series champion. Here we go. Green flag in the air. We're underway in the Kodak Watkins Glen Grand Prix here at the BodyArmor Pro Series, and already Drew Webb takes the lead there at the start. But Stewart going to file right behind him as they go up the S's.
High speed through the S's there. Gotta love the sound of these cars getting up to speed. Single file here, at least top 10 already, if not further back. First side-by-side battle. Going pretty far back there. Crampton looking to possibly make a move. Not quite able to make that stick. But already hounding the back of Stuart Grattan here, who, of course, I jinxed him again. No,
it's not. Hey. You want to know the ultimate jinx was at her Speed Fest when Eddie picked San Mateo and he literally wrecked on the first lap of the race. And then he picked Blaine at Kentucky and Blaine wrecked out in that race as well. So you're going further than Eddie normally does at this point. But it is a long race. It's 15 laps, and that's a long length for no pit stops. Crampton looking to the inside of Stuart Grattan there in turn 8. And he's got a good opportunity here. And Crampton knows he's got a huge opportunity at this championship if he can get this win. But Drew Webb looking to really pull away in the points and really have the largest lead of anybody this entire season. He's going to have a good opportunity, especially if he can pull away from these guys. Crampton, I believe, is going to be able to get around Grattan right here. Grattan's not going to be in a good position here in turn 11. The outside lane always is a problem, and he just smashed it right there. And Crampton took the conservative line in, and Grattan going to fall back, so I guess maybe you did jinx him.
Well,
Jinx is very strong for the co-commentators of this series. They're 3 wide in turn 1. Caleb Rose really going for it there as Turner tries to get around the 18. Stewart's doing all he can to keep the 82 behind him. Barretto's right here as well, trying to split these guys. Blaine Keys, they're all jamming up behind here for the 3rd position. And Stewart is somehow going to remain in that position. But Jesse's got a nose to the inside. Nope, that 18 has finally cleared. So it's not quite over yet. Oh, but Jesse's really putting it to him.
Oh!
And there goes the 18 in the outside wall hard with Igor Barreto. And yes, you have officially jinxed Stuart Grattan in this race.
You were saying?
That's 3 races in a row here in the BodyArmor Pro Series where the gentleman alongside me, like instantly, has jinxed their race pick. Maybe we just should stop the race picks in this series at this point. Wow, that was violent. That is bad for especially Igor Barreto, who won our last race. He's only 6 points behind. He's going to fall back. Grattan was 41 points behind, but he's not going to get any points today either. It's now Jesse Turner who is clear there, who was kind of all over the back bumper there of Stewart. Got into him, and that's what got them squarely going into that corner. You got Blaine Keys, Trey Bartow, Caleb Rose alongside each other, Matt Tuck, Tanner Parton, Joe Rakowski inside that top 10. And Drew Webb playing it very clean off the exit of turn 11 right there. We'll see these guys overshoot throughout the day, so we'll have to see how clean it ends up being. They're bumping off each other here as they come down the front stretch.
Man, it seems like ever since that 3 wide situation happened, they've just been stacked up from third on back. And it's showing, a lot of guys making contacts. And that 3 wide was what pretty much eventually did it in for Barreto and Grattan. Of course, I did it again. Yeah, that's going to be a tough break there. But someone who's definitely loving that is Drew Webb out in front. Travis Crampton, they're going to try to run him down, but really ever since the green flag dropped, it has been all 13 all the time.
Well, shout out to Blaine Keys, who has a good opportunity if he can move his way up here in this race. Maybe get around Drew Webb and keep him from taking the points lead. Like I said, you know that Blaine Keys has a huge chip on his shoulder after losing that Walla Walla Cup Series title. He's still got a good opportunity here in the BodyArmor Pro Series to get it done. He's got a nose to the inside of Jesse Turner. And he's going to look to take third away from the 82, and I think he's going to get it right here. Of course, Blaine Keys got the race victory at Le Mans, the first road course of the season. He's looking to sweep the road courses, pushing Turner off the course in turn 8 right there. These guys are very aggressive here in the Pro Series around Watkins Glen. It's always a lot of fun when these guys come to town. And how about Caleb Rose, who is 23rd in the standings, 58 points behind, running 5th. And then you got Bartow and Matt Tuck, who got into each other in that final lap at the Speed Fest. Took each other out. They're battling right here. Matt Tuck to the inside of Trey Bartow. That for the 6th position. Then you got Joe Rakowski, Tanner Parton, and Chase Harris has the last point, even though he is last in the championship standings as of right now. Other than the Grattan and Barreto incident, we've actually had a pretty clean race, and all these drivers are still in it, but we got some 3 wide going on right here. It almost looked like we had 3 wide. They are still all jumbled up in the back of the field as Turner and Keys continue to battle it out for third.
Turner, maybe if he can get a run here, try to get to the inside, although Blaine Keys doing a nice job of there defending the inside, and Turner's just going to stick with him. And I have to just shout this out just because I see it on the back of his car. Jesse Turner with Lincoln Park on the back. I just want to send a shout out there to the fact that Lincoln Park is back with a new singer and a new album coming out as well. So to any Lincoln Park fans out there, it's pretty awesome. And I've got to hear their first single, and it is truly awesome. So I'm sure Turner's also liking that as well.
The old Trinity River racing car, Josh Williamson, I know is a huge fan of that band. That's why that is on the car. Of course, this is the old NOF Earl Cup Series car set from 2021. And Trinity River Racing, you know, they kind of still live on in spirit here in this race. Josh decided to close the team in the Walla Walla Cup Series, and we wish Josh the best, of course, but I know he's rooting for Jesse Turner here in this race, even though there are no official owners in this series. Be kind of fun if we did, though, because you know you got all the big guns here. You got Velocitar, you got Titan Fury, you got Hamill. You even got Grattan Autosport as well, though that hasn't really worked too well out for Stewart in this race. And you got the old Otter Island Motorsports team as well while you're at it. Of course, and around goes Justin Zeidel and Reggie Fogelman. And they're going to go out of the points. Not that they were actually in the top 10 at the time. But thankfully, no major contact. They're going to remain in the race, but that's going to set them back from the rest of the field right here. Crampton's closing in here on this 13 machine. I know Travis would love to get this win. Of course, got the Michigan win in the Wawa Cup Series, I should say. It's about a month ago when that race was run, and a huge win that was for Travis Crampton and the NS Racing team over there. And we'll have to see if Crampton can get it done here in the Pro Series. Blaine Keys, there's only one driver so far this season who has won multiple races. That's Nathan Staplin, who won at Hillside and Coca-Cola early in the season. Blaine Keys looking to become only the second driver this season to win multiple races. But if he gets this one here today, I think it's going to be his 8th win of the year on the channel. Oh, he's not going to get it if he drives off the course, though. So I'm pretty sure he has 7 coming into this one. And, yeah, he's got the 6 Cup Series wins. He got the 1 win at Le Mans. And looking to get win number 8 of the season. There might be missing one there, but I'm pretty sure that's how it is for Blaine. Meanwhile, Drew Webb in the 13. Oh, boy. That's not what you want to do. Getting a little aggressive there. Blaine just massively overshot it there. And Jesse's coming back for 3rd. As for the race lead, Crampton to the inside of Drew Webb in turn 1. He's really going to try to push it there. He's got a good momentum into the corner. As they go up the S's, they're side by side for the race lead.
And as you said, Crampton trying to get as close as he can to that points lead. Of course, as you said, theoretically could take it today. I mean, with the way that Drew Webb is running, I doubt that that'll happen. But any points that he can make up is going to be significant. So, or anyone for that matter. So, oh, look at this dive. Oh, we're thinking
contact in the corner. They are getting aggressive going into that carousel. I tell you what. We saw Turner do that earlier with Grattan and Barretto. We saw how that ended up, and Crampton almost spun that 13 around going in there. Drew Webb holds on to the race lead. These two keep on going after it for 3rd. Blaine overshot turn 11 that last lap, and Turner, at 99, still has a faster car even with the damage. Now, here's the good thing about this race not having any pit stops. These guys can actually slam it in the wall, and as long as it doesn't actually hurt the aerodynamics, they are good to go. They do not have to worry about having an extended pit stop, and I'm sure Blaine is very happy about that, because that's what cost him the Wawa Cup Series championship at Darlington. But on the same token, you can't take yourself out of the race. Blaine's going to switch back to the inside of Turner right there, and Crampton's still all over the back bumper. I have a feeling these two might tangle, and if that happens, this race is wide open here at Watkins Glen with those guys battling back in there. And Drew Webb going to be a lot cleaner that time off the exit. Blaine is going to hit it again, and Caleb Rose really overshot there as well. And Jesse will finally take 3rd away from the 99. That was 2 laps in a row for Blaine Keys overshooting that corner. Bartow going to try to get around the outside of Caleb Rose. And you got Rakowski hitting the curve going on the 1. Rose will stay ahead of Bartow for now.
I'm getting nervous. These guys are kind of freaking me out here. You know what? I not only did I jinx Grattan, I think I jinxed the race when I said, all right, these guys just need to play it cool. It's the road course. You can go and be as aggressive as you want in the ovals, but I don't think they heard me. But this is awesome stuff. I mean, it's very exciting, and I think it's going to keep things pretty darn tight as long as they keep running as they are. But Drew Webb starting to pull back away again.
Of course, Drew Webb has actually led every single lap in this race so far. Would you believe it? How crazy it's been back behind him. We'll have to see. You know, all these guys are in the catbird seat if these two end up tangling, and they almost did a couple laps ago. Crampton really pushing the issue into the carousel. Still, only Agar Barretto and Stuart Grattan out of the race, so only that one incident, which is nice to see the race generally be pretty clean outside of that. There's these guys going after Ludovic Charette, Dylan Matthews, Thomas Troxel in the middle of all this right here. Of course, well outside the top 10. I think it's not well outside. Alonso looking to take that 10th spot from Chase Harris. And we always want to keep an eye on the race leaders. And now Turner goes wide in 11, and Blaine's back to the inside for 3rd. Blaine Keys actually lost the Chick-fil-A Cup Series race here. Well, he was leading the race going into turn 11, overshot the corner, and lost it. And he's done it a couple times today, but maybe he's gotten that out of his system. The thing is, these guys are almost 5 seconds off our race leader right now. Drew Webb's really pulling away, and it's really going to take a massive mistake out of him. Now, as these tires wear out, and there is tire wear here, and we're expecting tire wear in this weekend's real-life race at Watkins Glen in the Cup Series, so that'll be fascinating to see. With that in mind, these guys are going to really have to be careful going off the exit of 11. If you don't have that grip, you can shoot yourself straight into that outside wall. But all these guys really getting held up by Turner right here. You can tell Blaine clearly has the faster car. Peeking out to the inside there, going into turn 7. Or turn 6, excuse me. I have it down now. I think I have all the turns down. It only took me 9 years to figure that out, but I think I finally got each one down. There's turn 7. And then the heel is turn number 8. And there goes Blaine Keys for third on Jesse Turner once again.
Man, he just can't quite make that stick. See if he's gonna. Oh yeah, nice. Get clear there. Really late on the brakes, but they're gonna be able to stay clear of Turner for now. And now he's just got to be clean through the final corner here, which, as you can see, has not been his best friend.
Travis Crampton's closed back in on Drew Webb. Neither of them make a mistake that time around off the exit, but that 37 looks to be quicker than Drew Webb right now. He closed in about half a second that last lap, and all these guys are still right on each other, but they're now 5 seconds off the race lead. We're going to have to see. Crampton has definitely kept his tires cleaner, I feel like, throughout this run, and now he's starting to get that advantage on Drew here. With 7 laps to go in this Grand Prix of Watkins Glen. Travis trying to do all he can to have an opportunity at closing up in the points. Drew Webb, as they run, would remain the points leader. Blaine Keys would probably be second in points as they run. Yeah, he'd definitely be second. But Crampton would definitely move up there. He'd probably move top 5 if he were to win this race. But regardless, he still has a lot of points to gain right here as well. If he can finish second, that would be 18 if he can get it done. This carousel's definitely going to be a treacherous spot if these guys get close to each other. But Crampton's right there. He might be able to make it into 7.
Right on the brakes. Not quite. He got another good opportunity coming up here. If he can get a good enough exit, which it looks like he might. So coming up to this next heavy braking zone. See if he's going to make it. Not quite yet.
He is
but,
right
oh my gosh,
there.
he's right on him.
He is right there on Drew Webb for this race lead. Kind of single file out behind him. Blaine starting to pull back away. And Crampton might pressure Drew Webb into making a mistake off of 11. We've seen that a lot here today with these drivers. And Drew made that mistake slightly earlier on that brought Crampton right back into the battle. He pulled away, and then Crampton pulled right back in. And Drew taking a conservative line right there. Not making that mistake twice. Turner is going to get into the wall, and Caleb Rose looks to take the 4th position away from right there. Turner continues to fall back. And Caleb Rose is cleared for that position. Trey Bartow right there as well. Looking to gain some points. Bartow's 7th in the standings. Only 8 behind Blaine Keys. But Blaine Keys is now pulling away from all of these drivers right here. That 99 is definitely very fast. He actually closed in half a second that last lap on the race leader. Blaine pretty much has the fastest car on the track right now. Even with that damage that he has to the left side of his car. But Crampton trying to close in here. He had it that last lap. He's very quick in that second part of the racetrack, but lost the ground there. Overshot the corner just a little bit. And Drew Webb able to pull away and keep this race lead for now.
It seems like Crampton's kind of going through cycles here of kind of conserving the tires and then getting after it and then trying to conserve them again. Drew Webb, I think, is just kind of in the middle of not going too hard, not going too soft, and just kind of trying to find the middle ground. And I think that's why you're seeing that kind of, I guess that kind of spring, that yo-yo of kind of going back and forth between these two.
I was thinking of a slinky, which is a spring.
Yeah, I kind of thought of that, but I don't know. I was trying to think of something interesting. But I think at this rate, though, I think Drew Webb is probably driving the slightly better race. You can see that car is clean. Nice and conservative through
boy.
there, and Crampton is really letting it hang out.
Keys is going to slam it. Not quite.
Held it back.
These guys really have to manage the tires. Now Alonso in the wall, and here we go. We got a battle for the last point here. Chase Harris actually lost it right there. Rutkowski trying to get around Alonso. Actually, Alonso was trying to get around Rutkowski, and Harris now has a shot at getting around Rutkowski for the 10th position to get back in the points. And Chase Harris does, in fact, have that spot. And now Rutkowski is outside the points in that 47 machine. 5 laps to go here, Watkins Glen. Caleb Rose now trying to close in on Blaine Keys. Drew Webb did close further ahead that last lap. He's a second now ahead of Travis Crampton. And Blaine Keys is 5 seconds behind those guys. These two clearly have some of the biggest damage outside of Grattan and Barretto, of course, from their incident. Blaine Keys definitely in a great position if something happens to these two. I feel like Crampton's going to be able to close back in on Drew before this race is over. We're going to have to see how that ends up shaking out, but you got to give a lot of credit to Drew Webb in this race. This has not been an easy race for him to lead every lap up to this point, and he has definitely shown why he is a Wall Cup Series champion here today. And I know he'd love to get this job done here at Watkins Glen, but he still has 4 more laps to go once we cross the line next time by.
4 laps, just trying to keep it clean. Managing that gap as best as he can, but Crampton once again just inching a little bit closer. This will be the money corner here. See how they're going to shape up for this next lap. Another clean exit there.
They keep doing the same thing. Crampton just goes a little wide, and Drew's a lot lower off the exit right there. No one really slamming it this time around. Matt Tuck and Trey Bartow battling for position right there. Crampton did close in by a 10th that last lap, so he has not lost the chance yet. And he doesn't have to make the pass in turn 11. There are many passing zones here at Watkins Glen, especially the carousel. You can get a good run down the backstretch and close it into the inside of them. But as long as nothing crazy happens to either of these two drivers, it's either going to be Drew Webb or Travis Crampton winning this race. Blaine is not going to be able to make that up on speed these last 3.5 laps. Caleb Rose there in 4th, and in Jesse Turner, here comes Matt Tuck to the inside. Of course, Matt Tuck won at Thompson in the Lenovo Pro Series, so he's got another Pro Series win just in another Pro Series. The other Pro Series on the channel. We got 2 Pro Series on the channel, but they're 2 very different series from one another, so these guys are the true pros. A lot of experience for these drivers, and a lot of fun to see them battle it out here in this season.
They're having a good time with it, too. And it's, as you said, it's like the best of the best trying to go at it here and see who truly is number 1. And right now, number 1 is Drew Webb. First in the standings, first in the race. Coming out of second last corner here, and another chance to see how that gap is going to shape up. It's going like how it's been. Yep, another.
Same thing again.
It's the same old, same old.
Blaine might lose 3rd to Caleb Rose here. A great run for Caleb Rose, who is looking to triple the amount of points that he has. He's not going to quite do that. If he were to get 2nd place, he'd be able to do that, but only 9 points on the season coming into this race for Caleb Rose, and here he is running in the 4th position. That's the position that awards 12 points, so definitely a good run for Caleb. A lot of these guys are going to be in tomorrow's, I should say, not tomorrow night's, but tomorrow's Truck Series race. Of course, both Crampton and Drew Webb are owners in the Truck Series, but guys like Blaine Keys, Caleb Rose, Jesse Turner, they're all drivers in that race tomorrow. All these guys are owners here. Actually, Barch is not involved at all. He was a driver last year. Alonso, of course, a team owner. Matt Tuck, a team owner. Tanner Parton, a team owner. Chase Harris, a team owner. Rutkowski and Williams will both be in that race tomorrow. Stapleton, of course, will be in that race. It's looking good for Drew Webb. That 13 is clearly the fastest guy right now. And Travis Crampton just doesn't quite have the speed at this point. Now, if Drew Webb makes a mistake again off the exit of turn 11, That could open the door, and there are still 3 more chances for him to make that mistake, but these guys have been a lot cleaner the past few laps as these tires have worn out. They're actually not going for it as hard as they were when they had the fresher tires, so they've all adjusted. They all kind of know what their stuff is, but here we go again through turn 11. Oh, he is going to hit it. He is going to hit it. He came close to hitting it. I really thought he was going to hit it right there. It was a lot wider that time than his past couple of go-arounds. Caleb Rose going to barely tap it right there. I don't know. We'll just have to see how these last 2 laps shake out.
Well, he pulled away still. I mean, the gap was 1.2, now 1.4. I got to think that unless he pulls basically the equivalent of a Hildebrand, yes, I'm sorry, but unless something like that happens, it looks like he's got it in the bag now. I think Crampton just used up everything that his tires had left, and he is dropping back a bit. Still going to be a great points haul, but I don't think anyone really wanted to see Drew Webb win this thing solely on the merit of pulling away in the championship. But hey, with the points format as it is,
Matt Tuck overshot it. He lost a lot of ground there. He may actually fall outside the points. Dylan Matthews up to 9th, and now Chase Harris still battling for that last position there in the points. Gonna battle with that 79 machine. I mean, this is, considering the way this race has gone, it's actually surprising that Drew Webb has just run the clean race that he has, and so has Crampton. There's guys like Blaine Keys, Caleb Rose, and then Matt Tuck, of course, just had an issue. Alonso's up to 7th now on that 39 machine. Good run for him. Now we're about to close in on the last lap of the race here at Watkins Glen. And Drew Webb trying to pull off his first win of the season in the BodyArmor Pro Series and take the points lead going into our next race, which is going to be next week, by the way, at the Oregon International Speedway. A little wide right there, but Crampton's going to hit it. That's the first time Crampton's really hit that outside wall. And Drew Webb just has to have a clean lap, and he's got this one in the bag.
I think that was a bit of a desperation corner there. Crampton trying to get everything that he had out of it and just overdrove it. I think now at this point he's just got to accept that, all right, I think this is just how it's going to fall. But Drew Webb, off he goes. They continue to battle further back there. Heck, only 300 between 8th and 9th there at the line, so still plenty of points shakeups there as far as this top 10 goes before this race ends.
And this right here is for the last point, Matt Tuck and Chase Harris. And Matt Tuck was way higher in this race than what he is now, and Harris is going to go for it right here for 10th. Harris wants the point, even though he's last in points and will remain last in points even if he gets this point. He wants his second top 10 finish of the season. He's the only driver with fewer than 3 actually, I should say. Everybody has at least 3 top 10s this season. Chase Harris only has 1. And he still can't get around that 79. Meanwhile, Drew Webb just needs to be clean off the exit of turn 11. Well, we have seen so many times before the race leader overshoot that corner drastically on the last lap of the race. But Crampton may just be too far behind for that to really be an issue here. And Drew Webb will go wire to wire, assuming he has a clean lap right here. He's a little wide. He's going to hit it. Oh, he almost lost it. He almost lost it. But it's the last lap, and he's crossed the line, and he's won the Grand Prix of Watkins Glen. He teased us there. He absolutely teased us. Travis Crampton, Blaine Keys, Caleb Rose, Jesse Turner, Trey Bartow, Harry Larvin Alonso, Tanner Parton. No, actually it was Dylan Matthews, then Tanner Parton, and Matt Tuck barely holding on to that last point. And Chase Harris will not get any points here today at Watkins Glen. But how about that for Drew Webb? Wire to wire, he was the leader the entire day here at Watkins Glen International.
Pretty much unchallenged. Only had one time that he had a bit of a scary moment, and that was when he made a little bit of contact with Crampton earlier on. And then I think that last corner there, he just didn't want to be left out. He wanted some side damage too. Good win for Drew Webb.
Well, the good news for Travis Crampton next week at Oregon, he is going to be your pole sitter for that race. And then Caleb Rose, Blaine Keys, actually, yes, Caleb Rose, Blaine Keys, Trey Bartow, Reggie Fogelman actually at the 5th quickest lap, Rutkowski, then Drew Webb was 7th, Justin Zeidel, Tanner Parton, and then Alonzo. That'll be the top 10 starting positions at Oregon next week. It's the first back-to-back races that we've had in the BodyArmor Pro Series this season. It's the rest of the fastest laps right there. And Drew Webb, your race winner here, Watkins Glen, flag to flag. Maybe not the most exciting Watkins Glen race that we've seen, but definitely a lot of great racing. And hey, you're in tomorrow's race with the Truck Series. Only 13 laps, but a cycle of pit stops in that one. How do you see that race playing out in the Lake Effect Ice Cream 175?
Just keep it off the stinking wall in the final corner. That's all I can really say. But no, yeah, with the tire wear definitely showing a little bit there, and it seemed like how you manage those tires are going to be a big factor in it. Again, I think Drew Webb found like a happy medium as far as between pushing and conserving. I don't think that he ever was really going one way or the other. He just found a middle ground and just kind of found his happy place, whereas Crampton was kind of up and down, pushing and then conserving and then pushing and then conserving, and it did okay for him, but ultimately it just wasn't enough. So with there being a set of pit stops in there, when to pit is going to be, of course, a factor in that. So we'll just hope to do our best, as it were. But again, if someone could find that middle ground like Drew Webb found, get the jump on the start that he did, and pretty much never looked back. And that's going to be a tough combo to beat. So we'll see what happens. It's going to be a good one for sure. But as you said, a quick one, only 13 laps.
It's going to be an interesting race, no doubt about it. You got Aor Barreto and Roberto Crown Jr. starting on the front row for it as well. So qualifying yesterday, Barreto has the inside lane, and we also all saw how that worked out for Stuart Ratton. And Roberto Crown Jr. has the outside lane, which is the position Drew Webb was in for this race. So it's going to be fascinating to see. There I go again with it. I need to get a little electric shocker on me every time I say that it buzzes so that I stop saying it. Anyways, we are done with this one here from Watkins Glen. Drew Webb, the race winner. And our next race here in the BodyArmor Pro Series is going to be next Thursday. So 6 days from now. That's the shortest distance we've had between races all season. It's going to be at the Oregon International Speedway for the Oregon 100K. And excited to see how that one plays out on that 1.5-mile racetrack that is difficult to pass on. And it'll be interesting to see if Travis Crampton can kind of dominate that thing and find himself higher in the points. He gained a lot of points here. He's going to be up there in the points. Drew Webb's going to be your new points leader. Blaine Keys is going to be second, and then we'll see how the rest falls in just a moment. So thank you guys so much for watching. On behalf of Andrew Miller, here are the point standings for the BodyArmor Pro Series after 11 races. Congratulations to Drew Webb, and I will see you guys later.